So we were really pleased today to be able to hear updates on clinical trial data. Jan was able to give us some of the data from the Resonate-2 trial, which Peter Hillman was able to show us as well yesterday. This is quite exciting stuff. This is taking ibrutinib up front for CLL patients in a randomised way. Patients were randomised to either chlorambucil monotherapy or ibrutinib, and the key take-home message from this trial was not really looking at the chlorambucil arm, but looking at ibrutinib in the first-line setting. It was pretty well tolerated, the results were good, and the hard endpoints, how many people on that trial had actually died, really small numbers, and only about 10% had come off drug with adverse events. So looking very promising. Of course, early follow-up, and that's the challenge for these new drugs. At what stage do we bring drugs like this up front when the follow-up is still relatively short? But that's a challenge for each clinician to discuss with their patients when these drugs are available and when they're funded in the NHS, which of course is a separate thing. Another great highlight of BSH has been the Sir John Dacey Medal Lecture presented by Stephen Mulligan. So Professor Mulligan, he really is a leading figure in the world of CLL. He works out of the North Shore Hospital in Sydney in Australia and has been instrumental in a lot of the Australian clinical trials, the program that they're developing and taking forward. And he was able to review some of their data, some good old-fashioned chemotherapy data actually, with reduced dose chemotherapy combinations in the elderly that look very effective. He was able to remind us of some of the venetoclax data, which is another very powerful drug in CLL and has an important future. Combination studies with venetoclax combined with antibodies and some of the promise that holds, and actually gave us a bit of an insight into trial designs going forward. So that was a real highlight of the meeting. In CLL, we've got a couple of interesting trials. We are very interested in the Acerta compound, ACP-196, acalabrutinib. We're running the first-line trial, which is around a 3-arm randomization, which is certainly very exciting. We've got patients going on that. We've got the relapse trial, comparing the drug with ibrutinib for 17p deleted or LMQ deleted CLL. We've got patients running on that. We've got relapse refractory Gilead trials, which we're quite excited about, looking at combination therapy of the previous owner pharma drug, the BTK inhibitor, which Gilead now have development rights on, and that drug combined with SYK inhibition in relapse refractory patients. So again, quite excited direction of travel of that. So there's a lot happening in the world of CLL, and that will be my message for any patients looking at this. If you're uncertain about where you're going, ask your clinician, are there trial centres nearby that maybe you could be referred to, or discuss your case with a CLL expert who would be more than happy to advise on what might be going on local to you. The good news for patients is there's so much happening in the world of CLL. We've got really effective drugs that are licensed in the clinic already. There are some that are working their way through the NICE process, so will be coming into mainstream practice fairly soon, we hope. And of course, there's so much going on in clinical trials, and all of the UK is mapped into the CLL trial network, which, as we know, run by the great Professor Hillman in Leeds, and we're always enthusiastic to get people on trial. So you can always ask your haematologist, if you're a patient watching this, that there may well be a trial option for you.